Mohbad, who has released a full statement on Twitter saying that the label owner's story is false and it's disrespectful for him to sell the narrative of him being intoxicated every time they assault him. He wrote, Naira Marley was fully present throughout this event and in fact coordinated some of the attack as they instructed the boys to beat us up. Some of this was captured on video. It is therefore disrespectful for Naira Marley to insinuate that I started the attack because I was intoxicated, as he is fully aware of the facts and circumstances surrounding this violent attack. It is not the first time Naira has lied to push his own narrative, but it would hopefully be the last. I trust that soon justice will be served. Thank you all for your support. Now, what do you think of this?
Thank you for your support for me.
Yeah, but he's getting a lot of support because, you know, there was a time NDLEA came to, you know, the Malian house and then they picked up Zinoliski. And, okay, so they didn't pick him up, but it was rumored, but it was said that he was fighting for them and even got away, and his car was riddled with bullets and stuff like that. But, you know, we saw all of these things, and then, you know, the narrative then, he came out to say, oh, his life is in danger because of the Malians, blah, 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 blah. Now, next thing, Mohbad was nowhere to be found. Now, Mohbad came up on the scene with a new song, right? And then maybe, you know, I don't know what could have, you know, happened. And then he said he wants to change his manager. And then, you know, we have another episode of what is going on with Mohbad right now. So, you know, I keep saying something like there's no smoke without fire. Like, somebody cannot just be coming out to say, cannot just be that. I understand that it could be getting intoxicated, but, you know, one thing I always say is that what help is he getting? And yes, of course, yes, on this story was where I was going to bring this up. Happy Mental Health Day, guys. Yes, of course. Yes, today is that day for you to just look after yourself, look after your mental health, and yes, you know, get all the help that you can, because yes, your mental health is important, your peace of mind. I'm sure you have something to say about mental health.
I mean, definitely. I've spoken to a clinical psychologist earlier this morning, and we also spoke on the fact that in Nigeria particularly, there's not a lot of awareness about, you know, mental health. But over the years it has improved, but there's still like a lot of ignorance, right? And I definitely would admire or love if people would take their mental health and that of others as a priority, right? So your mental space is very important, and that's why I'm always about like affirmations and just making sure that you do right. And if you know you're not feeling great, then seek help. You're not crazy to go for therapy. You're not crazy to ask for help. You're not crazy to, I mean, even a psychologist needs therapy. Right? So it should be the same way you walk into a hospital to get checked, or you go to a pharmacy to get medication. It's the same way. Do you get? It's the same way you can walk into a therapy room and, you know, just, oh, I've been feeling stressed.
It doesn't make you a crazy person.
I've been feeling stressed and I don't know how to handle it.
But you know how Nigerians are. The moment you go to rehab, they don't even know. They say, oh, nah, mad. He not mad before. That's what they will say. But, you know, that's not what it is. You know, sometimes you just need to get yourself checked. Now, this brings us back to the story, right? Where we say that, what has the Malian family done for this guy? If he's always getting intoxicated, then there's probably something wrong with his mental health. Because I found out personally that I tend to drink more, so I'm a casual drinker, but I drink a whole lot more when I have problems.
That's the thing. So people like and what's the word? Engage in temporary life coping skills. Right. So drinking, alcohol, drugs, and all of it are ways people cope with their problems temporarily. But it's only temporary because, I mean, when you're sober, you realize that your problem is
still there. It's still right there, staring you in the face.
When they're in that space, when they're not like aware of their consciousness, they feel like all their problems are gone. So there's that constant need to always be in that feeling of ecstasy and everything. So that's why they keep going back to drink and, you know, do all of those things. And some of them don't realize that they need help. Right. So just like you said, it's something you would, I mean, he's part of the family, and he did mention the backstory. He mentioned that he joined, you know, the record label because he was from the streets, right? And he wanted to be able to give back, you know, in music to
and
where
to
he
his
was
family
from.
as
And
well.
he felt like that was the best space possible.
Yeah, so you know, I feel like the record label is not paying enough attention to his mental health, actually, and that is the reason why, you know, you're always coming up with this, he's intoxicated. Okay, so fine, yes, we agree, he's a drug addict, he's a this, he's a that, he's a drunk, he's a, I'm not calling him these names because I don't know for a fact, but I'm saying that if you keep coming up with that narrative, what are you doing to help this guy? Have you come out? Why didn't Naira Marley say, oh, we checked him into a rehab and then he came out, we checked him into this, you know, or we've checked him, or we've tried to get like a therapist, you know, to talk to him. The record labels even have in-house, you know, therapists. Do they have in-house shrinks? Do they have things like that? You know, somebody that before he goes out to go and pull out that violent act.
Yeah.
A safe space where you could go talk about it, where we get the perfect advice. Do you get? But you don't have any of those things, and then you expect not to see violence. You expect things not to go crazy. So if you know that somebody is getting intoxicated, right, help him.
Yeah, I mean, even with the way the music industry is, right, how their schedules are, you know, all that.
Me, I'm with Mohbad on this one, Sha. I'm not being biased. I live on the same street as the Malians. The Malian house is just like a few buildings away from me. Naira Marley, all of them. So I could get beat up tonight. I don't care. But I'm with Mohbad on this one. Right.
So, I mean, just like you've said, there is that consciousness that we need to have to pay attention to ourselves, the people around us, and with how the industry is here, like I was saying, there's so much that's going on, right? And a lot of people don't inculcate these things because, like you were saying, do they have like in-house therapists? I'm very sure they don't, because a lot of people don't even think.
No, we can't be very sure. We can't be very sure.
Well,
they might.
I don't. In-house therapists. That's another thing.
Yes, no.
Right? Because like
there's
I
probably
said,
somebody that studied psychology.
I did. I studied psychology. So like there are a lot of people that are still ignorant.
So maybe
about
we
this.
should, push pitch for you to be their in-house therapist then. I think we solved the issue. So I'm not gonna get beat up tonight. We now have somebody that will do the job for the Malians, right?
Everybody should just.
The day that the therapist said mess up, therapist said will chop slap.
And then they'll pay for damages. They'll pay for damages.
Alrighty, yo. So yes, we're all moving on to the final story because we're running out of time, and this one is on Pretty Mike of Lagos, who just said trash on his reason for dressing women in men's genitalia costumes to Don Jazz's mother's burial. The controversial socialite has attended the burial arrangement of Mrs. Ajiri with 8 ladies who wore penis-like costumes. Addressing the backlash, Pretty Mike took to Instagram to talk about equality for all genders without favoritism based on the organ between the male legs. Adding to his point, the socialite, known for his costumes to occasions, affirmed that the world is changing and so is a need for adjustment. I feel like now you're just trying to be politically correct, you know, talking about this, but, you know, I can imagine it's like when we're talking about weddings and you're talking about, you told your chief's bridesmaid to go and sew the same material as you, and then she exposed all her chest, all her behind, all of that. What would you do? You tell her, go change, or you can't attend my wedding. That's the same way that if someone had put up to, God forbid, if God's word has put up, let me use the Yoruba thing now. If God has put up to my enemy's mother's burial. Now let's play that Yoruba thing now. To my enemy's mother's burial, dressed like this. Trust me, I'm gonna work that person out. You're not gonna come in. But we know Pretty Mike for being that. So I don't think he needed to come out and defend this because we already know him for doing a lot of stunts like this.
He has
but now
a history of storming people's, well, not storming, it's probably.
but let's talk about what he actually said though, like there's favoritism in the world, given to women, given to men based on gender and things like that. So we've seen some of these things actually happen, right? So I feel like he has a point, but it wasn't the right time
not the right time, right? Not
he wasn't even making sense. There was no correlation with what you did. It's my mother's. God forbid. It's my enemy's mother's funeral, right? Yeah. Why would you come up with penises?
My own concern is I invited you. You brought 8 other people to my Owambe. Why? It's not even +1 +8. And like we said, he has this history of storming people's events with a theme of strange, one time is bringing ladies dressed as animals, another time is four dwarfs to calabashes, another time is goats or something. Like, this form of creativity is very distasteful for me, and if it was my event, I would not appreciate it, because even though you're trying to pass across a message, it's definitely not the right platform.
Right.
Definitely not the right platform.
Definitely not. But of course, yes, we are out of time. I know you guys, you know, I know you try calling this the Sakpa. Nobody has credits. No, there's no airtime to call anybody. But yes, this is where we draw the curtains today. But thanks for watching. As always, join the conversation on social media with the hashtag TEATIME. And remember, you can catch up on our previous episodes, including this very one, and all our exclusive content by doing what? Subscribing to our YouTube channel at PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle. You see a red bell, just click it. Yes, you can also watch TEATIME on Auto TV, and in London on Ben Television and Star Times channel 308. A big thank you goes out to the Edo Queen for holding me down on this one today. And of course, the entire production team. I'm giving a big shout out to man like Ajasa, Funke Ande, Kayode, aka Shango, and the rest on the wheels of steel. But yes, this is how we wrap up today's TEATIME. My name is Ife Oshukeye. Let's go.